LA Galaxy midfielder Evan Surreal.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thanks for talking to us. So you guys are coming off that championship season. You in particular had a strong CVI last year, and then you had a season which you're being talked about as one of the best seasons in the league. How do you feel like you can go ahead and raise your level even more this year?
I think it all just kind of restarts. Last year was in the past, and the same mentality that I had last year was to continue to improve and fight for my spot. And so I think at the start of the preseason, I had a fresh mind. I got to spend some time at home and kind of just stick to my roots and stay grounded with my parents. So as I got back, it was starting from zero again.
Lucas had his first minutes today. Lucas had his first start today alongside you. What did you see out of him, and how do you guys feel like your connection was?
Yeah, someone who covers ground is aggressive, which we need in our team and in this league. And I think in our movements, we're going to have some time to kind of work on those to get everybody integrated, get him comfortable in the movements that we need from him, and just ultimately continue to grow and get the best out of him for the team.
Ahead of the season, do you have a message for fans in Los Angeles?
First and foremost, the people that are affected from what happened, I pray and continue to hope that things get better. And for the Galaxy family to continue to support us like they did last year. They were a huge part of our season, and we're going to need that again this year if we're going to go for the 7th.
Edwin, fin de pretemporada, se viene la temporada. ¿Cómo analizas esta pretemporada del equipo rumbo a defender el campeonato?
Tuvimos una temporada muy larga, así que descansamos creo que hay un mes y tuvimos que regresar a trabajar con nuevos jugadores poco a poco, tener confianza con ellos y aprender de ellos. Y la pretemporada era agarrar aire, a conocernos, a jugar estos partidos muy importantes para conocernos, y durante la liga vamos a seguir mejorando y seguir siendo el equipo que éramos el año pasado.
¿Cómo ha sido esta transición de los jugadores que se fueron, los nuevos que se adaptan, el grupo, cómo está avanzado hasta el momento a lo que se le está pidiendo Greg?
Creo que con la energía del año pasado, todos muy contentos, con mucha confianza, y con las piezas que se quedaron aquí, creo que son piezas importantes para ayudar a los nuevos y entregarlos, integrate them, no sé cómo se dice en español, poco a poco. Y para estos son nuestros partidos, más allá del resultado, que obviamente cualquier partido tenemos que ir a salir a ganar, pero tenemos que sacar los momentos importantes y crecer de ahí.
Por último, se viene el primer partido de la temporada, campeón defensor en casa contra el nuevo equipo de San Diego.
Sí, muy emocionante como el año pasado, contra el primer partido contra Miami. Tenemos que estar listos desde la primera fecha y creo que lo vamos a estar.
Ahora no va a ser Messi, ahora va a ser el Chucky Lozano.
El Chucky Lozano, quien sea.
Después de 8 años, el Galaxy se encuentra otra vez en la Champions. ¿Qué significa ese torneo para ustedes este año?
Una competición muy importante, algo que nosotros trabajamos mucho para estar otra vez en esa posición. La gente se lo merece, este equipo se lo merece, y sabemos que va a venir muy rápido. Vamos a empezar la liga y hay un par de semanas vamos a estar en esta competición y tenemos que estar todos listos, los 22, los 23, cualquier sea.
Edwin, lo vimos a Greg hablarles after the game. He had a team talk with you guys. Obviously, that privy to you guys probably, but what was the overarching spirit of that talk?
I think throughout the preseason, it was the first time that we had this lineup all together. So things aren't going to be perfect, but we had good moments in the game, and in the first goal we're building out, and it's a mistake that we have to learn from. But we want to be a team who plays out of the back, in the mid block, and ultimately score some goals. So just taking away the positives from the preseason, and just continue having positive energy going into the first game of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Stand by for Greg. 건드렸다가 쓸데없는 말이 나온다거나.
Okay. My best friend now works at Nintendo. Exactly. Guys, you see it? Yes, I went for like 2 weeks for the holidays. Yeah, I went for holidays.
You sniff from afar? I love that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know my friend was the nickname for Big Rob that came out from Pop Show, right? We're all cool cats, aren't we?
Hello.
Guys, we're here post-game from the LA Galaxy's last CVI match, which they dropped 1-0 to Chicago. We're now waiting for Greg Vanney to come and give us some post-match thoughts. Of course, you guys can always go ahead and tune into La Cuna Galaxiana tomorrow or Monday night and find out a little bit more about this game and how it broke down. We'll go ahead and get with Greg here in just a moment. Thanks for watching.
Guys that passed on has been insane. And it's crazy. Crazy with consistency.
I'm like another tone of brown right now. Yeah, on purpose with her husband. Yes.
We're now joined by LA Galaxy head coach Greg Vanney.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hey, Greg. Thanks for talking with us today. Last preseason game of the preseason. Lucas Navas got the start. Marco Royce got his first 45. What did you see out of the team?
Generally, I was pleased with the group. I felt obviously we made a couple errors in our build that cost us. But I thought, again, when you have the first minutes for Marco and some of the first minutes really for Christian, to be fair, and the first minutes for Sanabria, those are three guys that are kind of helping to lead some of our defensive things, and they haven't played together, much less with the rest of the group. So some of it we knew was just going to be allowing these guys the opportunity to connect with their teammates and to work on the things that we wanted to work on. I thought there were some really good actions. I felt like we lacked a little bit of the final piece, just putting the ball in the back of the net, the final choice on the cross, a little bit of decisiveness in the finishing sort of zones, if you will. And then we got caught a couple times on just some loose possessions where we need to reset a little bit, and we try to force something inside, and we get caught, and that turned into some transitions. But those are things that we'll work out. Some of it was just the positional rotations that weren't there on time, and that's something that will get situated. But look, by and large, I thought it was a great exercise for us to work against a team like this, who's probably going to defend very similar to the way we saw San Diego defend. So there's some good preparation on that. In the end, in the second half, they got very low. They went into a 5-4-1, very deep in their area, and for us, it's a good exercise in how we're going to have to break something like that down to create chances, because teams will do that against us, as we know. So it's an exercise I felt like we lacked a little bit of intention. We weren't really quite sure what we were trying to set up in that moment, and that's something that we have to get clearer on. But in general, I thought it was good. And it was good for guys to get some extended minutes. Maya got more minutes than he's gotten, and me push some more minutes. Obviously, that's a big part of it.
Mickey Yamane has been, again, one of those players like Everpeck that seems like he's in midseason form already. We've seen him drop pretty deep and pick up the ball and carry into midfield. Might he be trying to pick up some of that Ricky Cooch slack, dropping deep and getting that ball?
Well, I think it's something that Mickey can do. We use Mickey in a lot of different ways. He's kind of a joker type player that we can positionally put him into different spots depending on what we want to do, and that can be fluid inside the game. We were trying to be a little less fluid today just because it's Lucas's first real game with that group of players. So in the first half, we were allowing some freedom of reading, and we were recognizing that the reading he's not ready for all of that just yet. It's a little bit unique and different. So we became a little bit more stagnant in terms of our setup, allowing Mickey to come inside and play a little more like a pivot, and it meant that Lucas's decisions were a little more clear, and he wasn't having to read off of so many things, which he's going to get, he's going to pick up. It's just not something he's used to doing. But Mickey is, we can play Mickey wide, we can play Mickey inside, we can put him in a high attacking position, we can use him in a 3 and a build. So he's a guy that that we like to use him in different ways, because that's one of his unique qualities, and it makes it difficult for the opposition sometimes to figure out how they're going to deal with a guy like that and where he's going to show up. So we were doing a little bit with that, but it was also with in mind that we have a couple new players out there that maybe aren't as used to all the movements that everybody is a little more accustomed to.
Speaking of new players, we've seen Mateus Nascimento out here a couple of times. He's one of 2 new strikers here for the team. What are their differences, Christian Ramirez versus Nascimento, and how do you feel like they fit into the tactical system?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Christian is a guy with a lot of experience in our league. He's got a lot of understanding of kind of, having been in Columbus and been in teams that have dominated the ball. He's very aware of when to show up to present himself. His positional play is smart. Learning how we want to defend is pretty easy for Christian. He's got a lot of experience. So somebody who's kind of plug and play right away, and he suits our style. And the last piece for him is just is the finishing piece for our whole group, just to get a little tidier next in the goal. For the young forwards who are coming in, it's a little bit going to take a little more time. It's not, it's about growing into the role, growing into the position, understanding all the things that we ask. Maybe a little more fluid runner. Not quite as physically ready for some of the things, back to goal and taking a lot of pressure, but a little more fluid in the running side of things and running with the ball and making things happen, a little more in a dynamic way, whereas Christian is certainly a great link-up player and connections, and then he makes good sharp runs and gets himself in the box. Somebody who's a little more efficient in terms of connecting with the rest of the group in the moment. But that's whenever we bring in young guys, we know that that's something that's going to take just a little bit of time.
Greg, we saw Novak start today, played majority of the game. What data points do you take from these last couple of weekends for all your goalkeepers as you head into training this week and heading into your decision of who's going to start against San Diego on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean it's for us. It's looking at based on our style of play and what we're asking of the position. It's looking at all the guys. And obviously, John was excellent last year and did the job in many regards, but it's just seeing as we start a new process and we're investing in each of these different roles on the field, it's looking at each of them and saying, okay, here is what we're expecting from our goalkeeper. This is the things that we need. Some of the things that I think we need is we give up a lot of goals on set pieces. We could probably use our goalkeepers getting 5 more yards or 3 more yards and taking things out of the air so that it's not always that our defenders are having to win things in the air, but our keeper can secure some things in the air. Obviously, we ask a lot of our keepers in the build-out phase and the decisions that they're making with their feet, in addition to leadership and communication and all those kinds of things. So it's not an easy position to play for us when we ask, a lot from our goalkeeper. So it's just seeing in the process how each guy is going to take on those roles and grow into the position and help our team to continue to try to evolve and find the highest level that we can find. So it's certainly we've got guys that are capable. We've got, I think Novak is ready to be a starter. I think John has proven he can be a starter, and we know JT has been a starter as well. So we got guys who certainly can who can fall. We're not short of goalkeepers who are capable. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Cerrillo took a leap this year, but regardless of the Ricky Puig injury, it might not affect how he's going to play on the field. What growth would you like to see from him this year?
Yeah, it's different playing with Ricky than playing with anyone, right? Because Ricky touches the ball 120 to 140 times a game. A lot of times for someone like Edwin, he's making little angles, knowing that Ricky's coming around, and he's just dishing little balls off of him or playing in little combinations. Where Eddie's going to have to take another step, and he's certainly capable. He's not going to have that little layoff pass to play. He's going to now have to, can he receive and get the ball into the next line to somebody where he would set to Ricky, and Ricky would play that ball. Now Edwin's going to have to expand his game outside of a small area and start to hit the switches of play sometimes, start to hit the balls through the lines that initiate attacks, things like that. I think he learned a ton last year just on positional awareness. We see him showing up in supportive plays quickly, which is something he was very casual about at the beginning of coming here. Now he's much sharper in getting to spots and getting organized. So I think, again, evolving his game into, being used to having such a dominating player like Ricky being around him to now opening up his vision and his passing range a little bit to help the team kind of, again, find that next level in terms of the attacking spaces and things like that.
Last question.
Greg, last year the team started off with a big occasion, first game of the season against Miami. This year, again, it's going to be another big occasion against San Diego. What do games like these mean to you?
I think it's a wonderful way to start the season because preseason sometimes they feel long and they start to wear on teams and players. But when you have a special game to kind of start off, whether it's Miami or a rival for a new team like San Diego, it has the guys' attention and they're excited to get things going, and that helps you in the training environment and the match environment to keep guys focused on what's right in front of them. We also have Champions League coming up, so there's a lot of things for this group to look forward to, and that kind of just keeps everybody a little more engaged and looking forward to kicking things off and playing at home in front of our fans. Again, last time we were there was winning the MLS Cup, so these are all exciting things for the group that keep them locked in when we're asking them to do those things they don't love to do in preseason sometimes, but it's to get ready for a season.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.